like YouTube is not streaming.
Well, isn't that fun?
Yeah, well, it's it makes sense.
Oh, there we are.
There we are. Holy crap.
The crap is holy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Look, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. You don't have to go and stay there, but look, go click over on that link. Go over to Rumble. Hit that follow button over there. Just in case this stuff happens. We go live every Monday and Wednesday night. YouTube is asshole.
China is asshole.
And we all know that YouTube is China. I am sorry about that, but this was not on my end. This was definitely on YouTube. Yeah, maybe it just now popped up. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all didn't miss anything. I assure you. Let's see, where are we? Oh, we need to go back. Hey, if you'd like to become a member of the channel over here at YouTube, you may do so by hitting the join button down below. For as little as $1.99, you can help support this content. But I am going to tell you right now, the real place, the best place in order to follow us and ensure that we do not disappear from the internet is going to be over at rumble.com. And it is because, yes, Zio, YouTube was messing up, but that's okay. But yes, we will always be on Rumble. But hey, we got to put a little bit of thanks out to our supporters over here on YouTube as well. We'll start off with our executive producer. Let's be frank, producer Just Crazy Chicken 132, operation staff consisting of Jason Fish and Joseph Dierna, and of course our wonderful support crew consisted of Granite Guy, Ocean Breeze Salty, and Mina from down below. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. But yes, Rumble is going to end up being the home of conservative alternative media. I'm just going to throw that out to you, especially with the elections coming up and everything. So, yeah.
Wilson's asking where Kieran is. I'm just telling you he's on your shelf.
So Kieran is probably at work right now.
He's actually the one with the horns and the red face.
So Kieran has accepted a job where he has to work evenings, and not every evening, but he'll be showing on the Wednesday night shows every other week.
He's got a job where he's allowed to be mean to people and sometimes hit them and stuff.
Well, I'm not going to go that far, but hey, look, he's got a job. And,
yeah, he's a Walmart creator.
So yes, appreciate y'all asking. I'll let him know that he is missed. I know, Oceans. I know you hate Rumble, and look, Rumble is improving, but it is not perfect. But it is still better than Odyssey, and I will never.
Odyssey is too restrictive, especially if you just want to watch a stream and comment.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not going to bow down to Nick Fuentes and them to get on Cozy.tv. Although I do have streaming privileges over at Comfy.tv. If you're familiar with the Crucible crew. But it's not as
well, Ocean, I can't chat on Odyssey. It keeps telling me I need to create content.
So yeah, you've got to have a channel for Odyssey, and that's kind of the problem. You don't have to create any content.
Well, that's what it keeps telling me.
Huh? It's weird. But you can also now. I'll tell you, Ocean Breeze Salty, and I haven't pushed this in a long time. Let me bring this up. But if you always want to donate and you do not want to include YouTube or Rumble, there is alternative methods to donate to us, and that is through Streamlabs.
Or you could just simply put money in an envelope and send it to.
Yeah, you could do that as well. Let me let me bring this stuff up. Dashboard. Yeah, continue. And let me bring up that, which I think it should be in the description below. But yeah. Twitch panel, merch store. It's been a minute since I've.
Oh, and I found something interesting out there. If anybody's interested in linguistics.
Oh, really? What's that?
You know, some people, not just black people, but some people use the word axe instead of ask. Apparently, you go back far enough, that was used equally as ask. It comes, yeah, so it isn't a recent thing. It's an Old English thing.
Huh. I was not aware.
I wasn't until I found out.
Let's see.
I was.
Find the damn link.
I think it's Thomas Sowell that did a big thing on like where a lot of that American black vernacular comes from, and it's English.
Yeah, well, a lot of what we call black culture nowadays, especially the negative side, apparently comes from Irish and Scottish immigrants into the Deep South. You see, the white man is to blame.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like the we be doing this, and I be doing that. That's from Europe.
Yeah, England, Scotland, not Europe. At least not to us.
Look, when in doubt, always blame the white man. Oh, you could also donate via Stripe. Here, let's do this. You do this. Ooh, that's a long one. Ooh. You know what? Links in the description there. I'm having issues finding the one. Oh, here it is.
Talking about technical difficulties.
There we go. There, streamlabs.com/aircraftsparky. You can always donate there. Awesome. Now that we've got all that ridiculous stuff out of the way, my goodness, it has been an interesting weekend. Trump announced that he will be arrested more than likely on Tuesday. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But Biden has actually done one of the first things that almost every president should do at least once. Although I think the reasoning for this was wrong. He actually vetoed a bill. And here we'll go over to our wonderful story here. Biden issues first veto rejecting bill that would reverse ESG rule. President Biden on Monday issued his first veto since taking office, rejecting a bill that would reverse the Labor Department rule on environmental, social, and governance in investing. I just vetoed my first bill.
Sounds like something a 7-year-old would say.
Yeah. In a tweet announcing the move, this bill would risk your retirement savings by making it illegal to consider risk factors MAGA House Republicans don't like.
Do you think Joe Biden stuck that bill he vetoed on the fridge?
Maybe.
Next to the pictures.
So here's the deal. There was a bill that was making it where you couldn't use ESG ratings in order for your financial planners and advisors to use to determine if a company was worth investing in. And when you do your retirements, of course, your retirement funds, they get put into different funds, different bonds and stuff like that in order to make money. ESG is what is it? Environmental social governments. This is some woke shit.
Yeah,
that
sounds it. Environmental social.
Yeah, we actually saw the results of what ESG does. We saw that with the SVB banking collapse, and now Credit Suisse and stuff like that. Get woke, go broke, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Be careful where your money is going into. Currently, you should
Ocean
be
Breed
very
Salty's right. What you said in the chat. Anything that has enviro in it is a scam. That's mostly true,
yeah.
which is why I consider myself happily environmentally unfriendly. In fact,
And
environmentally belligerent.
yeah, the whole climate change. Look, climate changes. It does. It happens naturally. Um,
And an increase in carbon in the atmosphere is actually good for the planet because it promotes plant growth in areas where plants normally would not grow.
well, yeah. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes along with all that, ladies and gentlemen. So Nico Pluto over at Rumble says, "What's ESG?" And that's environmental social governance. It's something that was actually created by China, and we all know.
China is asshole.
And look, they have actually set this shit up to stifle our businesses. Okay, if we are so hung up on ESG scores, and by the way, if you don't have enough diversity amongst your board and everything like that, there is no way at all to get a good ESG score.
There is only one diversity that is worth anything. That is a diversity of ideas.
Definitely. And look, I want the best person who is qualified for the job. I don't give a shit what their color is. I don't care what's between their legs. That doesn't matter to me. In fact, I really don't care who they sleep with. None of that's important. It really isn't. And that's what this stuff focuses on.
Yeah. My question, if I was one of these what you call them, sexual minorities, is why are you so interested in my private life? It's got nothing to do with you. You should only be interested in what I do, not who I sleep with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found me over there at over there on the Rumbles. Thank you all that has gone over there. I appreciate it. If y'all would do me a favor and hit that. It's not the plus anymore. Now they give you a little thumbs up. So the happy little thumbs up button. We appreciate it. Get us out in the algorithm. Let's grow over on Rumble.
Nice.
But you need diversity, inclusion, and equity, or you're asshole.
You need.
Yes, you
Don't
need to
need,
bow down
need.
on your knees and fillet the state and
That's
the woke
something else
ideology.
that gets on my nerves. This taking a knee thing. That's not defiance. That's capitulation.
Yes.
I mean, up until recent years, whenever anybody's gone down on a knee, that's in surrender.
Yeah. Yeah. Kneel to no man, woman, or child. Only kneel to God. Or for those godless people, I guess kneel to nothing. That's your choice, but definitely don't.
And always be afraid of that guy who stands in front of Superman's enemy. Yeah, kneel before Zod.
Yeah.
That Neil guy, he's tough.
Well, there is Neil Patrick Harris, and even though he is one of the gays, he is a hilarious actor, and he plays the most misogynistic man ever known on a show called How I Met Your Mother. The Bro Code is alive.
First time I saw him, he was the psychic guy on Starship Troopers.
First time I saw him, he was like a 9-year-old doctor, Dr. Doogie Howser.
Oh, Dodgy Hauser.
Yeah.
I hated that kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved those crazy ass shows, including the Wonder Years.
The Wonder Years was good.
Yes, the Wonder Years was great.
It was one of those few kid shows with kids in where the kids are not annoying.
And I had a crush on Wendy Cooper.
I didn't, because that would have made me a paedophile.
Oh,
Well, yeah, you're a bit older than me, so
I am 59. I'm getting on a bit here.
So this all this ESG stuff, the first veto, River, we haven't heard from you yet, man. Come on, tell us what's on your mind with all this.
Oh, with the ESG stuff. I mean, basically, I think it's just a score that tells you how woke a company is. I think that's the simple answer. And I think we've been seeing a lot of that getting woke and going broke in a huge scale lately, with these various banks, Credit Suisse, SVB. A lot of them were of course, the main issue that's causing these banks to go down is the interest rates being raised due to inflation. But also, there is this element of, particularly this SVB, them not having a CRO, a chief risk officer, and instead of handling their business, they're off funding woke causes so they can worry about the ESG score instead of what they actually need to be doing for their investors.
Yes.
On a sarcastic and satirical note, ESG probably stands for Eat Soylent Green.
And we all know Soylent Green is people.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's vegans, actually.
Oh, well, yeah, they are.
They're
not really people. No, not really. They're horrible, horrible things that should be mocked openly. Oh, my goodness.
If you've ever read War of the Worlds, vegans are the Eloi, basically cattle.
Yeah, the veto by Biden, I think it was for a dumb reason to veto. But you know what? I think more bills should be vetoed. So I guess kind of a good thing. The less governance we have, the better off we are. We need less regulation, not more.
Yeah, you've got to find the correct medium.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like in politics, they don't go for a medium, they go for extremes. You get either too much or too little governance.
Ocean Breeze Salty. Vegans ain't people. And Crazy Chicken. No nutrients in vegans, though. Population would collapse. So it could be a starvation food. Did you know rabbit is considered a starvation food?
Yeah. It's not considered a starvation food. It is a starvation food. There have been cases where people have been trapped, particularly in the North Woods in America during winter. All they can get to eat is rabbit, and they've been close to dying of starvation by the time they've been rescued.
Yeah. So this morning, so for those of you that dislike Rumble, this morning, Steven Crowder had over 175,000 people watching him on Rumble. I'm telling you, Rumble
he didn't realize there was a webcam in his bathroom.
Well, I mean, good thing the mic wasn't too sensitive. But it was his first day back. Welcome Mud Club back to the world. I'm happy to see them. A voice that needs to be lifted up in the conservative area.
That's right, Ocean. No nutrients are either too little for a human being to use.
So rabbit meat doesn't have enough fat. It'll help you get by, but you will eventually starve to death eating just rabbit.
And you won't realize it because your stomach will think, your stomach feels full.
Yeah, there just isn't enough fat in rabbit meat, and I think rabbit is delicious.
It is.
I like a good hash and pfeffer.
Yeah. Oh, you don't take betrayal lightly? Is that to do with the Daily Wire stuff Ocean Breeze? I mean, a squirrel and rabbit are pretty much the same meat. They're almost the same, Ocean Breeze.
Apparently, they're quite different. Squirrels have got a very nutty taste, and squirrels quite nutritious, actually.
Yeah, but I don't think you can eat enough to keep you sustained. I think they sustain you slightly better.
That's because squirrels are tiny.
Yeah, they are.
They're almost as small as KFC.
And with that fluffy tail of theirs, But yes, Bandit, they are both rodentia. Yes. So
actually, no, I don't think rabbits are rodentia.
We'd have to
do
that.
I think that's the same misnomer that people do with bats. People think bats are rodents. They're not.
So Clavin said he made a moral error, putting it lightly. Look, I'll tell you this. Everyone who I know that has dealt with Steven Crowder, he's a jackass. He's not a nice person to work with. But at least he's principled. He doesn't agree with the monetization deal that happens over there at Daily Wire. I can understand that. I sympathize. But hell, it doesn't matter what I think. It ultimately matters what he thinks, because he was the one that was going to sign up with him. If Daily Wire offered me a position, I would probably take it. And then Mina could talk about how the Uden are trying to, take over the world and all that other great stuff. Because, well, she's crazy like that. But Crowder's funny, and look, he's got people like Nick DiPaolo. That's going to be on Mug Club. What was Jim Brewer? I mean, those are the two big names that I really liked. I love Jim Brewer. But yeah, interesting story came up over the My Pillow guy and a seemingly boycott. River brought this to us. Bed Bath & Beyond bludgeoned below $1, but still not bankrupt. So she wanted to put this one forward, and you know what? It's her show as much as it is mine. And you know what, River, won't you take it away? You are well more read on this than myself.
Oh, okay. Well, I have been tracking what has been going on with Bed Bath & Beyond very carefully, because if you guys, just in case you guys forgot, there's been an ongoing boycott with Bed Bath & Beyond, and I'm someone who has absolutely been participating in this ever since they decided to get woke and go broke by discontinuing carrying My Pillow. So I am just enjoying watching them go down in flames. I want to say keep up the good work to all of the patriots who have been standing by Mike Lindell and who are anti-censorship. And I'd say keep it up with that. And then also Kohl's. That's another company that has dropped My Pillow. Because if you don't, if you want to take issue or instead of just selling stuff to everyone, if you want to pick sides, then there are going to be consequences. And I think that these big companies, well, maybe they felt safe in a strong economy, but now with inflation going on and people having to really be more selective with how they spend their money, they are really, really, really feeling now the effects of what it's like when patriots will no longer shop at their stores. And I can't wait for them to go under.
It's one thing to say that you're not going to carry a product because you don't think it meets the quality or whatever that you would want brought to your customers, but to do it strictly based on political basis, that's ridiculous.
We do that all the time, though.
Unfortunately, yes. How's it going there, Jordan, over there at Twitch?
Nowadays, but this is still a fairly new thing, like in our general history.
But you go back to the 70s, the 60s, or the 50s, hell, even the 40s. You got a company that, hold on, they support communism. Yeah, we ain't buying any of their shit.
Yeah, I mean that was a thing. I mean, there was a Red Scare. McCarthy was not wrong. Joseph McCarthy.
It's not just that; it's anything that's immoral. I mean, in the States, mainly in the States, there's been companies there where such and such a company, they're run by atheists. Oh, we ain't buying none of their shit.
Well, there was the left trying to boycott Chick-fil-A for a while, and well, that went over like a turd in a punch bowl. Mainly because Chick-fil-A puts out some pretty decent food. Not gonna lie, not my favorite chicken. I'm a Popeyes guy.
He likes spinach favorite chicken.
Well, look, it's a spicy chicken. If I gotta eat fast food chicken, I would prefer Popeyes myself. The Colonel's 11 herbs and spices aren't enough, and peanut oil, although delicious, doesn't really do it for me all the time. So Chick-fil-A, although some of the best customer service you will find,
Got to admit, I much prefer roast chicken over fried chicken.
Yeah, agreed. A well roasted chicken
Yep.
Especially if it crisps the skin quick enough to where it holds in the moisture.
Yeah, comes
Really
out
good.
the oven, and you just have to look at it, and the meat falls off the bones.
Mm-hmm. Ocean Breeze Salty says rotisserie is best.
I would not disagree with you.
A rotisserie is roasted. I mean, it's just roasted on a spit where it turns.
And it's kept hot and moist.
Yeah, it's all those methods are good, but if I'm going for fast food chicken, it's going to be fried. And
I think the best rotisserie chickens is when you go to those 24/7 shops where they've got the rotisserie on, and nobody's bought any of the chickens, or there's got a few left. They're still good, but they want to get rid of them, so they've gone down in price so you can actually afford them.
So Jordan Lofgren asked, "Would you like to debate against me on the Crucible? Depends on the topic. There's some topics I don't know enough to debate properly. But if you'd like to, Jordan, look, join the Discord, come talk to me, and turkey bacon versus regular bacon hands down can't even come close. Oh, you're pro turkey bacon, you're a monster. I will have to make fun of you.
Yeah.
My favorite food, if I can get it, has to be kippers.
Okay.
Boil in the bag.
I mean,
it's a fish.
yeah.
It's a smoked fish. I forget which kind there, but you get them in a bag. They've got a knob of butter in there. You put them in a saucepan full of boiling hot water. Leave them until they're done. Cut the bag, put them on a plate, and they're absolutely delicious. They'll stink your house out, but they're worth it.
So let's do this for Jordan. Hey, put ones in the chat if you think turkey bacon is superior to regular bacon, and let's drop a big deuce on those turkey lovers. Throw a 2 for regular bacon. Let's
Regular
go,
bacon all day, every day. Pork got rules.
I'm just
It's
saying.
Got to
Look,
come from a pig.
I try to eat kosher. I do. I try to limit how much pork I intake. I shouldn't intake any. But bacon is my weakness.
It's the fat of the gods.
I mean, look, Jordan is holding on tight, but look, we got 2s. Yes, Bandit. What's turkey bacon? Yes. What's up, Mina?
You can't have turkey bacon. Bacon only comes from pigs.
But yeah, Nico over at Rumble. Sorry, I can't highlight your chats yet. But Nico's over there throwing 9s. He's going 9. I'm assuming that's the German no, but pork is the other white meat. TZ says, "Hey, I'm full keto."
Yep.
Good to see you, Mina. You missed it.
Oh,
I
really?
admitted that if the Daily Wire was to offer me a position, I would take it. Andrew McCown dropping a big deuce, saying to hell with turkey bacon. Pork bacon is the way to go. I fully agree. And yeah, let's talk about something to get your blood boiling, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon teacher caught asking students to describe their sexual fantasies in short stories. I cringe when I read this. This by Tyler Durden over at Zero Hedge. Here, let me share the screen here. This is not made up. This is horrible. In case you had any doubts what the end game is for woke ideology being injected into public school curriculum, here is yet another example of a teacher engaging in highly sexualized lessons and coursework in a classroom full of minors.
No, that should be outright banned.
Parents and students attended Churchill High School in Eugene, Oregon. Ooh, surprise, Eugene, Oregon. Was horrified to discover that their kids were being asked to write short stories describing sexual fantasies that do not include penetration or oral sex. The assignment referenced potential objects to be used in the story, including candles, massage oils, feathers, and flavored syrup. Freaking disgusting.
Ugh.
The health class, which featured the assignment, is part of a program called OWL, or Our Whole Lives. The curriculum is devised by Unitarian groups working in conjunction with Oregon Department of Education. The OWL coursework is deeply embedded in social justice ideology and gender ideology. Here's a section of the description of the curriculum on the OWL homepage. And I quote, "Unlike many other secular curricula currently available, this program is comprehensive and progressive. In an all-inclusive and developmentally appropriate manner, it addresses
All-inclusive
sensitive
unless you're
topics,
straight and white.
yes, that are typically excluded. Although the curriculum was developed by Unitarian Universalist Association and the United Church of Christ, this volume is completely secular and free of specific religious doctrine or reference. However, the underlying values of the program reflect the justice-oriented tradition of both denominations. Maintaining the OWL's value and assumptions established in the first edition, the second edition offers new and expansive ways of addressing gender identity and roles, sexual orientation, race, and ability. New activities, songs, and movement breaks keep your children interested and energized, and facilitator tips ensure that all activities are accessible to every child." In other words, the program is pure gender and social justice propaganda starting at the very early age, and it's part of the greater Oregon education program. This is
It's frightening.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, you got in trouble if you wrote smut. Nowadays, you get in trouble if you don't write it.
Yep.
Crazy. We've come full circle.
Like when I was a kid, teachers themselves would get into trouble for bringing politics or this shit into the classroom.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Now this is with a high school, and I'll be honest with you. Okay. When I was in high school, I was having sex, but you know what I didn't do? I didn't share that with my teachers. I didn't even share that with my buddies because that was my personal life. That had nothing to do with them. It shouldn't involve them.
It was just between you and the blow-up doll.
Yes. My pillow or whatever it was. Because, you know, young men are excruciatingly driven. And of course, women are too, but women don't admit it.
This is true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
See what we mean?
Pure as a driven snow. And look, we do not deny that one bit. River is virtue in person. We know that she is an amazing individual. But these things you don't need to be talking about. Not because it's shameful or anything else. It's because it's no one else's business. And you should not be encouraging young children. Young adults, let's be honest, high school kids, you don't need to be encouraging them to explore some things that are a little what would it could be unhealthy, to be honest, River. I mean, I know women that complain about getting UTIs from simply taking a bubble bath.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about flavored syrups and stuff around that area. Now we're introducing yeast vectors and everything else.
Yep.
And then you get a sarcastic sod like me who'll probably bring itching powder.
Yeah, dirty bastard. But you know, it's one of those things that look. I don't want to encourage teenage sex.
Nope. Even though I indulged in it.
I indulged in it myself, and I got lucky. I had many friends who got burned up. They caught STIs.
Yeah, and I disagree with what Mina's just said in the chat. Early marriages tend to lead to early divorces.
So I've got mixed
It's a
feelings on
better
this.
idea. It's a better idea than just gratuitous teenage sex, but it's still not a good idea. People, generally in the teenage years, most people are just too young for that kind of responsibility.
One thing that I do find that is wholesome though, and I don't know if y'all have seen a lot of this, but I know a lot of people who married their high school sweetheart and today are still together with them.
Yeah, and we all know people who married their high school sweetheart and today still won't speak to them.
Yeah. There's so I had two high school sweethearts. I am still friendly with both of them. I am not married to either of them. And we keep a social
Isn't?
yeah. Well, basically it's because, their significant others and my my wife don't want them to think that something inappropriate would happen. It's respect for your,
Yep.
for in my case, my wife, and for them, their boyfriends or husbands or partners or whatever they label them. I don't know. I'm not that close with them anymore. But it's a respect thing, and I think a respect is something that a lot of people have lost sight of. I mean, some people talk to other people in just ways that are, yeah, it's just not acceptable. Period.
Yeah, you've already said that, Smith.
We'll bring it up though. People that eat turkey bacon think men can get pregnant. I don't know if that's Jordan Offgren's stance, but we could explore that. We can explore that, Jordan, if you'd like to. Turkey bacon is an inferior made up meat. I do not accept it as a real bacon. Pork supremacy, if you will. Yes. Look, and I'm a Southern man, so I grew up eating soul
Turkist.
food. Yes, I grew up eating soul food, and not any time in my life have we ever thrown salted turkey into beans or greens to help them taste better.
Right,
No,
salted
we use
turkey's all right, but it's not bacon.
yeah. No, we use salted pork meat. Just saying.
Yeah, it's not just salted though; it's smoked as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Lots of other different things.
Yes, it's cold. It's cold smoke cured is what it is.
Yep.
So yeah. And when River brought this to me because she is watching everything. This woman is on top of the culture war. She is a culture warrior. She is down in the trenches, bringing you this great information of disgusting people from Oregon.
Oh, pork belly. Sorry.
Oof.
Still not as good as a rack of lamb though.
Oh, Zio. That may be too much, bro. That
Hey,
may be
Zio
a
likes
step
White
too far.
Claw.
I mean, I can't. I don't know if I endorse that one, Zio. No one should like White Claw. If you're a '90s kid like myself, that's essentially Zima. It's Zima for Zoomers. Although Zima, River, did you indulge in Zima when it was out?
I did, and I also do you remember not that long ago they came out with it again a couple years ago. I had someone, they did the temporary relaunch of the Zima, brought me back to the old days.
I gotta ask, what
Yes.
Jolly Rancher did you put in it?
I did not put a Jolly Rancher
What?
in it. I just had I did.
What?
I didn't know that thing. Nope. I just regular Zima. It didn't need anything.
I was a green apple guy.
Oh.
I would put the green apple in there, and not because I thought the taste of Zima was horrible.
Well,
I just thought it tasted better with the green apple.
let's face it, Sparky. You being a green apple guy, all you'd have to do is paint yourself green.
Fair. I am the right shape.
Yep.
You're a bourbon. You're in the bourbon phase of life. TZ, look. We are cousins because I drink whiskey.
I'm in that can't afford it phase of life.
I drink whiskey and rum. In fact, the darker the better. The browner the liquor, the more I'll drink it. It's just I don't drink them clear liquors. In fact, look at how black this rum is. Black don't crack.
No,
I'm just saying.
doesn't.
And that is pure sugarcane rum right there. That is the nectar of the gods.
The most evil drink in the world. It's not an old wives' tale that if you get drunk on rum, the morning after you wake up and you have a drink of water, you'll be drunk again.
Yes. Bandit, look, in my college days, which aren't that far behind me, Jaeger was the stuff.
Oh no.
Remember, I graduated college at age 40. So I've had many a Jaeger bomb. Jaeger makes me do crazy stuff. Fun crazy, not scary crazy. But
yeah, the last time Sparty had a Jaeger, he woke up in Mardi Gras dressed as Carmen Silvera.
See, the problem with the coconut rum is clear. I only drink brown and black liquors. That's just who I am. The clear liquors they affect me. They affect me in negative ways.
Oh.
Yeah, he starts speaking with a Russian accent.
These days I do the organic wine, the stuff that's the sulfate free, because that's so much easier to digest. A lot of people, you can't do the sulfates anymore. That's a good way to
That's
go.
something that seems to be purely an American thing. All the additives in your alcohol and your foods, we just don't get over here.
And Smith, I will tell you, when I was a teenager, whatever the bum would buy, I would drink. Green apple martinis, Scrubs, JD's drink, yes. Apple teenies is what he called them.
Yes, I can see Sparty drinking those.
Nah. When Snoop Dogg first came out and he was talking about drinking gin and juice, hate to break it to you, he was not the purveyor of gin and juice. It really was the Beastie Boys talking about my brass monkey, that funky monkey, which is literally rye gin and orange juice. Cheap orange juice, but rye gin and orange juice. Free alcohol.
Yeah, I think it should be a legal requirement for people to have alcohol as soon as they pass the legal age.
Jordan Lofgren says, "What is the guy with the accent moving to the U.S.? We need more based immigrants."
You pay for my ticket and get me a green card, and I'm there.
Look, he has been on this show begging the U.S. to invade and liberate the U.K.
Yeah,
before. So we'd
just so long as we can keep our royal family, you can invade.
The Oregonian teacher, though, I just.
That's a funny thing, though. Even people who say they're anti-royal and proper British, not just English but British. If somebody was to come over here and try and get rid of the royal family, they'd be up in arms as well. No, Jordan, you're the wrong sex for me.
No. He's advocating for you to pay for his green card. You don't have to get married for a green card. It could be a family visa.
Yeah,
it
just
could be a work
sponsor us.
visa. Yeah, it's really not that big a deal.
I don't know. I think I'd like to watch them on 90 Day Fiance together, though.
No.
I'd watch that.
That's
I
pure
wouldn't even
trash
watch it,
TV.
let alone do it.
My wife likes those shows, and I'm just like, why? I
Well,
want to see.
saying that, Rivet, have you got a sister?
Not a single one.
Oh,
Arrangements
let's-
can be made.
So we go from pedo. Oh, hold on. Where is it? I just remembered. The was it political discourse? Someone put in somewhere in Discord. What am I missing?
Look at what Ocean Breeze Salty put in the chat there. It's tempting.
Ocean Breeze would be like, just talk through the door. It's the accents. Look, American women do love a British accent. They really do.
It gets you far. It'd be very popular.
It's the attraction of the foreign.
I think what it is, the fact that people believe that you sound smarter in general.
We are smarter.
I think it's the genetic diversity thing. I think people are just naturally attracted to that because it's not just a British accent. It's really any accent.
It isn't.
Like,
Yeah.
just
you
about
know,
any accent.
Yeah, you get the same over here, girls. Yeah, if you've got a foreign accent, yeah, that's it.
I know when I was traveling overseas, I would break out the Southern accent.
There's a friend of mine.
Believe it or not, they loved it.
A friend of mine who I used to go drinking with, called Tommy.
Mhm.
But all the girls thought he was called Raul because he could put on a convincing Spanish accent, and he used to pick up girls left, right, and centre with that accent.
Mm.
Oh my God. I just saw this, and if I saw it, you have to see it too. River, we need feedback on this. The newest of all mullets.
Excessive force. Resisting arrest. Oh no.
That guy needs
Wow.
his man card taken off him.
Wow.
Or maybe he needs a boosted man card because look, a white guy with cornrows just in the back is a mullet.
Yikes.
It's a bold statement, Cotton. That's a
Oh
No, to me, that's just the same as a man bun.
no. Oh, that's one of the worst hairstyles I've ever seen.
oh, it is. It is.
Oh no. Yeah. That's a no all the way around.
There was someone that tweeted, and I think it was Spade or someone pointed out to me in Discord, and I can't find it right now, but they actually have a new wood chipper being sold by a company named Predator. If anyone can find that.
Yeah, TZ, I've never heard of that.
Oh, but let's we talked about pedo teachers and their influence over children. Let's talk about something surprisingly based. Ben & Jerry's founder is top donor of group campaigning against U.S. military support for Ukraine. Ben Cohen, one of the creators of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, has donated more than $1 million to a group campaigning to turn the U.S. public against President Biden's military support for Ukraine. And I love the picture. I mean,
yeah.
No,
I mean, God, that's hey, look at it. That's
Chunky
Zelensky.
Surrender Monkey.
Hey, Sparty, here's the one. If you were taking your kid for orientation around his new school, before the school year starts, and Zelensky, instead of being an evil dictator in the Ukraine, was your kid's principal, would you go and look for another school just based on his face? Because I certainly would.
He
looks like he dips in the wrong inkwell, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So here's the deal. when I was in school, I really kept to myself. I didn't mess with many people. In fact, for a while, I was bullied. It's because I was quiet. I was one of the biggest guys in my class. I grew faster than most of the kids, and I was the gentle giant type. The only
Or tell
time that I
somebody
really
took your purse.
I found, yeah, and that's my purse. But no, I didn't mess with people until they pushed me, and when they pushed me finally too far, then I would do something extreme because I was a teenager and overly emotional. But this the group funded by Ben and Jerry's founder Ben Cohen is running a media campaign against U.S. military support for Ukraine. The organization, Eisenhower Media Network, has been reaching out to reporters to push claims that the U.S. is spending too much money trying to help Ukraine fight off Vladimir Putin's invasion. The Eisenhower Media Group is a project run by the People's Power Initiative. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
And like I've said with that war, I mean, the military technology and the manpower that Russia has, they should really have rolled over the Ukraine long ago. Did not after a full-scale invasion. Otherwise, they would have had it by now.
Yeah, they haven't gone in full. They haven't gone in with full power yet. But the People's Power Initiative that sends red flags up for me immediately. The ice cream mogul and longtime Bernie Sanders campaigner has given more than $1 million to the People's Power Initiative via the Ben Cohen's Charitable Trust, according to public records. Approached about his role in backing the group, Cohen told Daily Beast, "I think the U.S. should use its power to negotiate an end to the war, not prolong the death and destruction by supplying more weapons." Based. Look, I don't have to agree with all their politics, but right here, I believe that he is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, a broken clock is right twice a day.
There you go. The EMN project promotes a group of U.S. military veterans as experts and pundits willing to talk about the war in Ukraine. Some of them have been less.
Can you highlight Ocean's last comment, please?
Oceans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they wanted the Azov out. Let's see. Some of them have been echoing Kremlin propaganda lines and claiming the U.S. support for Ukraine is extending and intensifying the fighting and suggesting that NATO expansion was the cause of the war. Hold on.
NATO's shrinking.
Well, but look, you look at it from Putin's point of view.
It's expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have Norway and Sweden now trying to join, and they will be accepted. Ukraine was applying. Poland, which was once a Soviet bloc country, joined NATO. Lithuania joined. Everywhere that was former Soviet bloc has been working towards becoming part of NATO. If you are Russian, you see that as an expansion of NATO.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So,
the funny thing is, if Russia became strong again and put the Iron Curtain back up, it would stabilize the West as well.
So here's the deal.
We need a strong enemy. That's why we were strong before during the Cold War, because we had a strong enemy.
You're not wrong. Now, does Russia have to be that enemy? I say no. In fact, I think Russia should be one of America's closest allies.
Well, against a certain Far Eastern country?
Yes. Because
and India?
Currently, Xi Jinping is actually visiting with Vladimir Putin. Did you know? And I thought this was amazing. Xi Jinping is taller than Putin.
Yeah, but Putin could still take him in a bare knuckle fight.
Well, that's because he's fucking Russian.
No, that's because he's ex-Spetsnaz, from what I've heard.
KGB or what is it now? It's not.
He was KGB. I do know that much now. If he was Spetsnaz, he may have been.
What are they called now?
I think they had to be in special forces
FSB?
before they get into the KGB.
But it's FSB now. I know they changed their name now.
Yeah, I'm not even
Yep.
sure. And yes, India hates China.
Yeah, that's
And,
because China's taking over India.
Yes, and China is asshole. I mean, come on.
China is
China's
asshole.
China's taking over most of Southeast Asia, actually.
GRU maybe.
That sounds right, yeah.
But yeah, it's look, I'm not apologizing. I'm not being an apologist for Russia. I don't actually agree with the invasion of Ukraine. I believe every sovereign country has the right to exist the way they deem proper. I think US expansionism, US imperialism has gone a bit overboard. We got too many, we got our thumb in too many different pies. And I think we need to pay more attention to what's going on here in America. Instead of spending $100 billion arming Russia, how about we spend $100 billion to improve our border security?
Oh, yeah, and about the United States sticking its nose into other things. Can you tell Biden to keep his nose out of British politics?
I wish I could, but first of all, he's a potato. And he doesn't do what I say. He has puppet masters telling him what to do. I'm wondering how Kamala feels when she has her hand up in the puppet hole.
Apparently, oh, God, I heard about her getting booed out of a stadium the other day.
Yep.
Yeah, that happened.
I wish the people there had the forethought to bring rotten tomatoes with them.
How do you feel about that glass ceiling being broken there, River?
Oh man, I wish that they had gotten someone or went with somebody based on things outside of the superficial. This isn't any kind of moment or person to be proud of. And as far as the glass ceilings go, she's whatever race that she feels is convenient at the time. Sometimes she likes to be introduced as the first black this. Sometimes it's the first Indian this. So yeah, I'm not interested. She doesn't represent me.
Exactly. Crazy Chicken 132 says
Good
he can't
point,
keep his nose
Chicken.
off of minors, and now you want him to keep out of politics.
No, just our politics. He's all right in your politics. We don't mind him in your politics because he's not affecting our country.
Fair, but
no,
look,
he's trying to tell us. He's trying to tell specifically the DUP in Northern Ireland to accept the EU's deal. It's got nothing to do with him.
no, it doesn't, and
It doesn't affect the United States one way or another either.
And I think honestly, the U.S. should do less to try to influence UK politics. We would have fits if it was Parliament telling us how to run our country, and we should
you'd start bringing up that English Civil War that happened in 1776.
Yeah, I firmly believe that sovereign countries should be sovereign. I don't know. Heaven forbid.
Mr. Burton is asking who's worse, Johnson, Trudeau, or Biden? Yes.
I mean, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's Johnson's pig pecked, because that's Miss Piggy married. Trudeau is a woke idiot, and Biden's just an idiot.
Hey, River, you got a fan over there at Rumble. Nico Pluto says River is so cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh,
That's so nice.
we don't say that because it's obvious.
Yeah. We don't really have to say that. We already know it. We feel shamed by her presence every week, and we're appreciative of that shame. But look, Ben and Jerry, they're not without fault. I tell you, when they do something good, I call it out. But the People's Power Initiative, red flag. Okay, just because they're okay on one thing doesn't mean they're okay on everything.
Oh yeah.
And hey, Woke Ben and Jerry caught using child labor in making their ice cream. This from PJ Media.
Watch industry these days does not have child labour in a third world country.
Fair.
Oh, this isn't a third world country they're doing it in, though.
Yes.
If it's California, it's a third world country.
That's still nope. It's good old this takes place in good old Vermont.
So Ben and Jerry's has quite a bit to hide, and all of the woke posturing was probably used to keep their violations on the quiet. And I'm not talking about secret recipes for butter pecan. Ben and Jerry's woke and vocal would-be savior of the oppressed, dispossessed, and downtrodden was doing plenty of oppression of its own. It was oppressing many of those people it's said to have loved so much. Front Page Magazine shined light on the hypocrisy and, for the matter, the trafficking of human beings by politically and socially enlightened ice cream giant back in 2021. Franchise owner of Ben and Jerry in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, was busted employing 12-year-olds. But that generator was just the tip of the ice cream cone. In fact, compared to other things that the company was up to, having 12-year-olds seemed pretty well vanilla. Back in 2017, a website, Crunchy Vegan, no less, reported that Ben and Jerry were using cacao from West Africa's Ivory Coast. Cacao farms are notorious for using child labor and have no idea that one managed to slip by unnoticed. But I suppose as long as you're saying the right thing, people will turn a blind eye to what you do. Front Page also noted that the company used farms that employed child labor for palm oil in Indonesia and vanilla in Madagascar.
Yep, good old-fashioned values.
Not only did Ben and Jerry ignore child labor, it was producing raw material for its product, but it was also fighting for open borders. And now we know why. Just before Trump's inauguration, the company was using illegal immigrants to work in the milking process. The migrants had to live in barns without any heat during the winter in Vermont. They milked cows at midnight and sustained injuries from exploding milk bottles. I didn't know milk bottles exploded. One 14-year-old boy suffered a crushed hand when it was caught in an industrial milking machine. According to a 2017 article in the Vermont newspaper, the VT Digger, coyotes smuggled the immigrants across the border and used networks brought them to farms in Vermont. In addition, pimps brought girls in to meet men for prostitution. These girls came to the U.S. as unaccompanied minors. The article itself decidedly pro-migrant and takes a jab at Trump. But the fact that we have dangerous working conditions combined with child labor and sex trafficking cannot be ignored, no matter the source. And with that, let's go to our foreign border correspondent, Guillermo.
Did somebody say unaccompanied minors?
Centralized.
Hola, it's me, Guillermo, your favorite border reporter. 2 weeks ago, I was sent from the southern border to the northern border in Vermont to get the scoop, as it were, on the Ben and Jerry's story by going to a factory tour. Jerry himself greeted me when I arrived and told me to go into the room with the red door and wait for him there. Jerry must have accidentally forgotten to tell me that the red door only opens from the outside.
Oh, no.
That's terrible.
Yes. Fortunately, I wasn't too scared of being locked inside of the factory because, much to my relief, the room was full of other little kids.
Oh,
Yes.
that's terrible. That's
Yes.
terrible.
I passed the next 16 hours by milking cows with the other children until our hands bled. We were
Oof.
given 2 scoops of ice cream and then sent to bed. And the next day it began all over again. Oh, what? What? Oh, okay. Sparky, I am being told I must promote our 3 newest flavors.
Okay.
Number 1 is mint to be unconstitutional. Mint to be unconstitutional. Okay. Yes. Number 2 is junkie child labor lawless. Yes. And number 3 is our newest pro-human trafficking and minor attracted persons flavor, Cherryless Garcia.
Oh.
So who's your little friend?
This is Juan Marcos. He's dead.
Yeah. Well, at least you're in a colder climate. Maybe that'll help knock the smell down a little bit.
Yes, it does. But I tell you what, though, it's going to be a rocky road for me to try to get back to the southern.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Guillermo. We appreciate your firsthand knowledge of the milking process up there. Everyone, give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Guillermo. Yes, look, he is an independent contractor. He is not an employee of the show itself. We do appreciate it. And look, Guillermo, we will send more rations up to you, and hopefully we can find you some safe traffickers to get you back down south. Thank you so much.
Adios.
Oh, I love Guillermo. Oh, yes. Good job. Definitely. And you were worried.
Not really, no.
No, she was.
Why?
Oh, because I didn't have anything till a couple of minutes before the show started.
Usually when you got put on your best performance when you pushed.
Well, fortunately though, he knocked on the door and I was able to let him in at the last moment. I was scared. Nobody else was here, so.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, when you say not on the door, you mean on the door of his cell.
Look, Biden's still keeping him in cages with Juan Marco, who, by the way, has passed away, several months ago.
Yes.
Like, I hear he's already got a communication device. He's got a cell phone.
Oh.
Hey, I got a laugh. I'm happy.
Oh, my goodness. This weekend, Donald Trump sent a lot of Spurgs into a panic.
Hey, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If Trump's got to fight off the cops with those hands of his, where's he going to get guns small enough to use?
Donald Trump tweets this Saturday, "It's time. We are a nation in steep decline, being led into World War III by crooked politicians who don't even know he's alive, but who is surrounded by evil and sinister people who, based on their actions on defunding the police, destroying our military, open borders, no voter ID, inflation, raising taxes, and much more, can only hate our now failing USA. We just can't allow this anymore. They're killing our nation as we sit back and watch. We must save America. Protest, protest, protest." Next, he immediately sends out yet again another post on Truth Social. Now, illegal leaks from a corrupt and highly political Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which has allowed new records to be set in violent crime and whose leader is funded by George Soros. And we all know that Austrian Jews named George Soros are bad. Yes, Mina, I will call them out. Indicate that with no crime being able to be proven and based on the old and fully debunked by numerous other prosecutors fairy tale, the far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week. Protest, take our nation back. And a lot of influencers were screaming, "Don't fall for it. It's a trap. Don't protest." Now, I will tell you this, I disagree with that somewhat. Don't ever let them scare you into not speaking your mind. Your First Amendment right is to peacefully protest. But January 6th was an FBI sting. Our government is weaponized against you.
And the only person who suffered any violence was that poor woman who got shot.
There was some fighting with the cops, but
Like I keep saying, if I'd have been there and I'd have gotten into Pelosi's office, I would have stuffed every drawer in that office with springy snakes.
So I will tell you, as someone who was there for January 6th, it was a mostly peaceful protest. Out of the hundreds of thousands of people that were there was violence. Let's not.
Well,
We're not going to deny
got
that.
killed, if you remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she got killed multiple times.
Yeah, she visits her grave every year on the anniversary now.
Yes, and look, what I witnessed was the Capitol Police throwing tear gas and flashbangs at a crowd.
Like, didn't have the National Guard in there, not just because of the demonstrators, but also to make sure that the police did their job.
There was no National Guard at the Capitol.
They're not. I heard there was, or they wanted to bring them in. One of the two.
Trump actually asked if they wanted more, and the mayor of DC declined. There was National Guard that was blocking roads for traffic, but they were not on Capitol grounds property. Now, River, we haven't actually talked about what you saw really at January 6th. Were you there when the protests started getting heated? Which side were you on of the Capitol? Or did you not get near the Capitol?
No, I mean I wasn't close. So I was more like on the other side of the reflecting pool or pond or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was not close to any
So
of
you
the
were at the mall.
I don't know
That's
if
what they call that area. That's the mall.
Well,
so
yeah,
I was me and Frank were there at the Capitol. We were on the west side next to the SCOTUS.
Yeah, because you if I remember you saying you had a demon in your pocket, didn't you?
Yes. Demon Hobbit was there with me, but I'll tell you this: on that side, it was peaceful. There was a couple of skirmishes with the police for the barriers to be brought down, but beyond that,
yeah,
it was peaceful until they started throwing flashbangs.
Can you highlight what Crazy Chicken said?
She doesn't have a grave. They push horses into the glue and dog food factories.
Yeah, but she's a donkey.
Yeah.
So for me, it was completely peaceful. It was a totally peaceful protest. I had no idea that anything was even going on until somebody ran through the crowd screaming, Pence just stabbed Trump in the back. And at that point, I was sitting down on the curb. You know, I was thinking about getting a hot dog from the hot dog vendor. Like I'd heard a couple pops or whatever, but I thought maybe there were fireworks. You know, people were setting off fireworks or something like that.
No, those were flashbangs they were throwing at the people.
Yeah,
it was pretty rough.
Yeah, and then I was just like looking at my cell phone, and I was like, I was so far back, I couldn't even see any of the stuff that was going on. That's how far back. I was like, everything looks fine. Like, what in the world are they even talking about?
And there is still on my YouTube and Odyssey, and I think maybe even Rumble has it, video of me showing them throwing the flashbangs on the west side and me laughing, going, "It's a party now, lads."
You know, the thing is, if for some crazy reason the founding fathers of the United States had been brought forward to that time, they would have been on the side of the protesters.
I'm pretty sure they would. It's an interesting thing. But this prosecution that is going on right now, the grand jury that is being held, they're expected to come down with an indictment tomorrow, or recommendation for indictment. Will Trump be arrested tomorrow? Probably not. Will there be an open indictment and warrant for arrest by the end of the week? I think so.
I shall return. I have a furry thing to take care of.
All righty. We have this from The Hill, an opinion piece. Get ready for Manhattan's DAs. Made for TV, Trump's prosecution. High on ratings, but short on law. The moment that we were waiting for, we've made it through the finale. Finally, those familiar words, America's Got Talent, could well be the opening line from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. That's the melanated individual on the thumbnail. Next week, when he's expected to unveil an indictment for former President Trump, with Trump's reported announcement that he expects to be arrested on Tuesday, it would be fitting certain razor for the case that developed more like a television production than a criminal prosecution. Indeed, this indictment is repeatedly rejected, only to be brought back by popular demand. Trump faces serious legal threats in the ongoing Mar-a-Lago investigation, but New York case would have been easily dismissed outside of a jurisdiction like New York, where Bragg can count on highly motivated judges and, of course, jurors. Although it may be politically popular, the case is legally pathetic. Bragg is struggling to twist state laws to effectively prosecute a federal case long ago rejected by the Justice Department against Trump over his payment of quote-unquote hush money to former stripper and porn star Stormy Daniels in 2018. Yes, that is how long this theory has been around. Now, 6 years later, the same theory may be shoehorned into a state's claim. Now, from my understanding, what they are trying to do is utilize state law to prosecute what they believe to be a violation of federal election funding.
Right. They're trying to like skeleton together a couple of misdemeanors that are past the statute of limitations into a felony charge. And this is the same guy who's taking felonies, like real felonies, and turning them into misdemeanors and setting criminals loose on the streets. Like, this looks exactly like what it is, a political prosecution through and through. It's open, it's obvious, it's naked. It's frankly embarrassing. It's so bad that even Trump-hating Michael Avenatti is saying that, like, this isn't going to work. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah, here's the actual statement from Michael Avenatti. He tweeted, "There are many critical facts and pieces of evidence, text, emails, etc., relating to the hush money scandal that have not yet seen the light of day, and they will unfortunately be very damaging to the prosecution if Trump stands trial. At this point, you simply cannot build a case on the testimony of Cohen and Daniels."
And this is someone who hates Trump through and through to his very core. If Michael Avenatti is telling you it's not a strong case, I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, everybody else has dropped it. They know there's nothing there. There's nothing illegal about, you know, like paying people for like NDAs or hush money. Like, that's totally legal. This is insane. I mean, I guess they're trying to say, oh, well, maybe if we can make a claim that he was doing this strictly for the campaign, which you can't. You can't say he was doing that strictly for the campaign, because he could easily say, oh, I was doing it to save my marriage. You know, there you go. It's not a case, but they're so desperate to try to get Trump. They are willing to do everything, even set the country on fire. But you know what? It's okay, because it only works in Trump's favor. This only makes him stronger. All I see now is people who were on the fence with Trump being like, oh, okay, now I'm 1,000% Trump. You know, maybe I was wavering back and forth between him and DeSantis, but I'm going full Trump. they're going to make him into a martyr. People are just going to love him even more. He's going to fundraise off of this, and he is going to win again.
So here's the
Again.
deal. If he paid Stormy Daniels to keep her yap shut, I don't care. Not because it's Trump. Y'all already know my opinion of Trump is not the best because he spoke out. He spoke about shutting down parts of the Constitution. I do not accept that. I reject that notion altogether. But I try my best to call balls and strikes. If you don't have Bill Clinton being put on charges for the same thing where he paid women to shut up for having sex with him, I don't care if Trump had sex with a woman that was not his wife. That's not my problem. If it affects his ability to do a job, I have a problem with it. But this doesn't. Okay? If he had sex with her, I don't know if he did.
And if he
She
did, it was
can't-
way before he was president.
Yeah. But House Republicans are actually pushing. Jim Jordan sends urgent letter demanding testimony from Manhattan DNA. House Republicans are demanding testimony from the Manhattan District Attorney and members of his office who may soon be prosecuting former President Donald Trump over hush money payments made days before the 2016 presidential election. Trump may no longer be in office, but he is not former President Trump. He is still President Trump. He is not the current acting president, but he is still a president of the United States, just like President Obama is still referred to that way, same way as George W. Bush is still referred to as that way, and President Bill Clinton. Why not give the same honorific to President Trump? Well, even The Hill doesn't. This is The Hill, right? No, this is Trending Politics. Even they don't want to give him that honorific, which is bullshit. GOP officials tell Politico that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is listening to members of his caucus who wants District Attorney Alvin Bragg dragged in sworn testimony about pending decisions to charge President Trump. McCarthy, the official said, is fully supportive and pushing folks to be aggressive here. This morning, the House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan, Republican Ohio, sent a letter to Bragg demanding his testimony. Jordan warned that Bragg's investigation of Trump will erode confidence in the even-handed application of justice and alternatively and unalterably interfere with the court of the 2024 presidential election. In light of serious consequences of your actions, we expect that you will testify about what plainly appears to be politically motivated prosecutorial decision, Jordan wrote. Hillary Clinton was not arrested or tried for proven violation of Hatch Act, proven violation of storage of classified materials, including top secret SCI materials. We have allowed our political class to get away with all kinds of things. Donald Trump had classified materials. Those classified materials ended up being literally folders that said classified on them. Nothing in there was of classified nature, but those are still classified materials. Joe Biden had an entire freaking garage filled with actual classified materials.
Well, do we know if he had classified materials, or is it just things that were marked as classified and we don't know if they were classified yet?
So according to all the reports now, the folders that said classified on them, that's all that was there were folders, but those are considered classified materials. Technically, they're being correct, but it's a dishonest correct. It is not real. Should Donald Trump be put on trial? No. because all he did was a campaign at worst, a campaign finance violation. AOC was caught embezzling money from her campaign.
But he used his own money. So I don't even know how they can get him on that.
I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it all. Okay, if Hillary Clinton wasn't prosecuted for what she did, if Joe Biden is not currently being prosecuted for what he has done, and let's be honest,
still doing.
He has done a lot.
Yep.
And we have more stuff to bring to that table here in just a moment.
Not just the showering with relatives.
Everything they are doing is politically motivated. And Bandit, you're not wrong. Put him on trial. Go ahead. You're innocent until proven guilty. And I will tell you this. The people are seeing just how politically motivated these prosecutions are. Look, I will tell you, when I first heard about this on Saturday in a tweet thread that I am with, not a tweet thread, but a text thread that I am in with Drone Tech, with Let's Be Frank, with people like Rob Knorr, Sarah Corher, and several other independent commentators. I said, the moment they actually arrest him, then the facade of the republic is dead. We will officially be a banana republic. That is the end of America, and long live the Civil War. Let's go.
Yep. And Zeal, you're not wrong, but I don't think AOC is as nearly as stupid as people believe she is.
She
can't be that stupid to walk and breathe at the same time.
Yeah, I see. Shrapnel is saying the difference between, basically the Biden and the Trump situation was Trump was president when he got the documents versus Joe Biden, was a vice president.
Yeah.
But there's even a bigger difference than that because some of those documents are from when he was a senator, and there is no excuse for that. It's not like, when you're a president or a vice president, it's common for you to take that kind of stuff to your residence.
And yes, Sarah Kane,
but not as a senator.
Yeah, I look at it like this. The classified documents. Donald Trump, President of the United States, could declassify anything at a whim.
Yes.
Joe Biden had material back from when he was a senator. It's not apples and oranges here. It's apples and mealworms. That they're not even vegetables and fruits, man.
No, and the things that Trump had, like his whole thing was he was saying that these are personal records. These aren't, art records that go to the archives. And it's supposed to be based on precedent, like the Clinton sock drawer case, that it is the president of the United States who ultimately makes the decision whether or not things are classified as, things or not classified, but whether or not you categorize things as personal records versus, what's going to go to the archives, because otherwise the librarian at the archives would have more authority over the president of the United States. And that doesn't make any sense. There was never a reason for them to go to Mar-a-Lago in the first place. He said it was his stuff and anything he had was declassified, and it was, and he was like 1,000% correct and true on everything. And there's nothing there, just like everything else that they've tried against him. It's a nothing burger. He's Teflon Don. He knows what he's doing. But
and Bandit says, Bandit says there's a difference between campaign rhetoric such as because you'd be in jail and actually arresting political opponents for BS. Here's the deal. If we go down this road, America as we know it is officially done. They are finally admitting they're taking the mask off.
It's not just America, it's the entire Western world.
Yes.
I mean, the evil union, the European Union,
if this
is the big experiment.
If this is considered acceptable, the democracy that the left likes to talk about, the republic that is America, is no longer. And I have no problem with burning it all to the ground and rebuilding it because it needs to happen. The corruption inside DC has dug in like a fucking tick, and it needs to be rooted out. Will Trump do that? No. Let's be honest. He won't.
I think he will.
If he was, maybe you're right. But all evidence points to no because he didn't do it when he was there to begin with.
Well,
now, maybe it could be he thought that maybe he could reform it. Maybe he thought that. I'll give him that benefit of a doubt. But until I see concrete proof, I will remain skeptical. However, if he is arrested, I believe that more people will support Trump. I think Elon Musk is correct. If they arrest Trump, they have pretty much signed his re-election campaign as done. Because normal Americans will not accept this.
He has been draining the swamp. I mean, there's a couple of things that I think we have to consider. And it's when we look from here, like from 2023, and we look back at 2016, of course we can say, oh, well, you should have gotten rid of this guy, and you should have gotten rid of this guy, and you should have gotten rid of this guy. But when Trump went in there, it's not like he had a handbook from the future knowing, like he didn't know automatically, all right, who's going to get on his team, who's going to play ball with him, and who is just so completely embedded in the deep state that they're just going to hold on and ignore him and just operate outside of the law. What?
But that's true.
Two
But
words.
Trump can read a room.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't succeed in business without being able to read people. So he would have been able to figure all that out.
And look, I will tell you this, 2 words, John Bolton. The moment he hired John Bolton, we knew that the swamp was there. And maybe Trump thought that he could tie that man off.
And he did.
Eventually, he did. He fired him. But he initially
used him
hired him.
first. And that was the correct thing to do. That was 1,000% the correct thing to do to hire him. Because it worked. It worked. Did Putin try anything? No. I mean, you might not like his tactics, but you have to make very difficult decisions that might not necessarily be popular. I mean, I think it was absolutely tactically brilliant to have Bolton in his corner, just like he explained like why he did it. It was so that he had this mad dog in his corner, and people would think that, okay, like, we better not mess with America because Trump really could, start World War III. It was perfect because by Putin, he moved against Obama. He took Crimea under him. Look at what he's doing with Ukraine. No, it was that was perfect strategy. And then he used them up, and then when he was done with them, he threw them away like yesterday's news.
Now, I will tell you that even if this in New York doesn't, if it ends, let's say they decide that the recommendation for indictment comes down and DA says no, he's still not out of the water. And that's because Georgia prosecutors are considering racketeering and conspiracy charges in probe of effort to overturn Trump's 2020 loss.
Why does she look like she sucks a lemon every day?
Her and Kamala probably has a lot in common. Atlanta area prosecutors are considering bringing racketeering and conspiracy charges in connection with Donald Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. Investigators have large volumes of substantial evidence related to a possible conspiracy from inside and outside the state, including recordings of phone calls, emails, text messages, documents, and testimony before a special grand jury. Their work, the source said, underscores belief that the push to help Trump was just not a grassroots effort that originated inside the state. The special grand jury met for roughly 7 months in Atlanta and heard testimony from 75 witnesses, including some of Trump's closest advisories from his final weeks in the White House. It recommended issuing multiple indictments in their final report, including the jury foreperson who spoke out on a media blitz, and that's this crazy bitch right here. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis will make the decision on charges this spring. Source says Willis will bring her charges recommendation to the regularly seated grand juries, who will serve 2-month terms. 2 regular Fulton County grand juries were seated in early March. The next batch of 2 are scheduled to be sworn in early May.
You know, there's one way to make sure you get the right people in there into your government is they've got to be able to answer one question: what is a woman? You think I'm joking?
Hey, would you like to go ahead and handle that question, River? Because I know you know what a woman is.
Oh, an adult human female. But I gotta real quick jump back to the draining the swamp thing, and I just gotta say that the whole swamp situation. I mean, we have people who have been embedded for well over 100 years. I mean, we're talking about something. This isn't something where, okay, I'm going to fire these 5 guys and then it's over tomorrow. And I mean, just this isn't something that was going to be fixed by one person in 4 years.
No, it's going to take multiple people.
Yeah,
and
but
honestly,
years and years to undo over 100 years worth of a system. Like you can't. No one on the planet could have fixed this in 4 years.
Yeah,
it's just not possible. But look at all the progress he has made. He has made so much progress. We have gotten rid of so many, like, not all of them, but we've gotten rid of a nice chunk of rhino Republicans by using that Trump endorsement. All he has to do now is, he let us keep, for some reason he had some of them remain, but we have the Freedom Caucus, and that is to the point where, they have a nice amount of swing and say, and they can force things to happen and force change, unlike the populist left. And that's all being exposed. That's nice because they can see that AOC and her crew, they don't work for them. They don't go after force the vote. They don't go after Medicare for all. They fall in line with all of the Nancy Pelosi contingency. But we actually have people who are working for us, people who are obviously not deep state, and the populist left, they can see what's happening on the populist right. They can see that we have freedom here. And this isn't just, you can't just pull the plug. You also have to wake people up, and people are waking up more and more and more every day. They're seeing the gains that we're making over here. They're seeing that we are pro-freedom and that more freedom is happening, and they can see how tyrannical things are. And if they arrest Trump tomorrow, it's even better because they're going to wake up even more people. And I think, like you said earlier, Sparky, with Elon Musk, I would say this is going to lead, if they do this, this is going to lead to a landslide. And once more people are awake, because you can't just pull the plug, the people are going to hold on to the system. It's like the Matrix, where if you try to wake somebody up and they don't want to be woken up, all hell's going to break loose. But now people will be ready to make the big changes happen that need to happen.
Look, I would like to see changes happen, and I think the only way to do it is to destroy certain groups within the government. We need the FBI taken down. We need the CIA demolished.
Yep.
We need the IRS defunded. We need the Fed shut down.
Yes.
Zeal's actually put a decent meme in the chat.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that in a moment. Because yes, I saw some pretty good ones there. He's got some bangers, ladies and gentlemen. Zio has come through, but we got one last piece of business to deal with before we get there.
When River said there's been people in there for over 100 years, she was specifically talking about Bernie Sanders, wasn't she?
Bernie Sanders, I have been here forever. I used to be the poorest senator in the Senate, but now I'm one of the richest, and all it took is me bending down and kissing the cankles of Hillary Rodham Clinton. That's a dirty bitch with a big dick.
Let's face it, he's been there since the revolution.
No, I will never go full ANCAP. ANCAPs are fucking cringe. But even I can recognize that there are corrupt portions of the executive government that needs to be demolished. And the only way to do it is burn it down.
That's a horrible thing. There always will be corrupt portions of any given government. All you can do is control them and keep that corruption to a minimum. It's
So
human nature.
What is an ANCAP? An ANCAP is an anarcho-capitalist. So these are the people. These are the people, or like the extreme libertarians, extreme big L libertarians. They talk about things about like the Non-Aggression Pact, the NAP. They believe that the free market will settle everything. And look, I'm kind of a free market guy, but I'm not a free market absolutist, because I understand that if you allow the people who are more educated in economics to just run everything free without any type of regulation.
Caveat emptor.
Yeah.
Let the buyer beware.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of complete laissez-faire capitalism, but I am an advocate for mostly laissez-faire capitalism.
And I would like to point out, though, with yeah, I do agree that the CIA, the FBI, a lot of these three-letter agencies, they need the legs cut out from under them. And that's actually, you know, when we talk about draining the swamp, that is one of the things that Trump did in the final days of his administration. He implemented JFK's National Security Action Memo 57, which cut the legs out from under the CIA and transferred their powers over to the Department of Defense. And that's, yeah, some people speculate that that's part of what, you know, got Kennedy killed. Between that and I think what he was trying to do with the Federal Reserve. But yeah, trying to go after the CIA. But he absolutely did.
Now, I will tell you, Shrapnel, I would be glad to approach this topic, but on YouTube, we should not. I've got a lot of hot takes on Islam. If I say them on YouTube, I'll get yeeted the fuck off. If I say it on Twitch, I'll get yeeted the fuck off. That is a Rumble only type conversation, and I'm pretty egalitarian when it comes to a lot of things. Although I have been swayed on a little bit on the 19th, and I'll break that down. I'll break that down one day in a Rumble only.
And even when it comes to Islam, it's not a monolith.
No, it isn't.
I know Muslims over here. They don't want these other Muslims into the UK because they're trying to bring Sharia. A lot of British Muslims do not want Sharia.
Look, I don't believe in fundamentalism, period.
No.
I don't want fundamentalism Christianity. I don't want fundamental Judaism. I don't want fundamental Islam.
Fundamentalism stifles societal advancement.
I believe in a mostly laissez-faire society where everyone has equal rights, not equal outcomes.
Yeah,
you know,
equal opportunity.
I believe in a meritocracy.
Yeah, it's the
and I
only
believe
fair
you
way.
should as well.
A meritocracy is the only fair way, really.
Although my voting policies, I assure you, some of you would not agree with. And it's because I don't believe that non-stakeholders should be allowed to vote.
So you'd only allow the landed gentry to vote, right?
Yeah, if you don't invest in the country, if you're not a stakeholder, I believe you should.
What happens if you can't afford to invest in the country, though?
Well, so there's other options such as government service guaranteed citizenship, that kind of stuff.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, pretty much. Which is a dystopian take. I'll admit.
No,
it wasn't the movie. It wasn't so much in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't be able to vote for increases in people's taxes if you're not paying those taxes. Like if you don't own a home and they'd like to say, you know, increase the homeowner's taxes.
So basically,
for schools, or, you know, oh, we want to tax, you know, put this, you know, add this onto somebody's income tax, but you don't have a job. Yeah. You shouldn't be able to vote to increase the taxes other people are paying that you're not going to pay yourself.
So basically, what you're saying is if you're not playing the game, you shouldn't roll the dice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't see anything wrong with that, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Well, so like I look at it as like, so for those who rent, if you're a non-landowner, You can't vote unless maybe you've done something like join the military, serve the country for a certain amount of time in some capacity. Okay, you have to give up something in order to be vested in order to vote.
See,
Now,
I disagree there, but
No,
I'd still let you
I-
vote for president. You just can't vote to change the
Yeah.
taxes on people.
well,
Oh,
and
I've got Address Smith in the chat there. They say no,
Mm-hmm.
Islam is not right to dress women in hefty bags. Smith, let's face it, there are still women who need to be dressed in hefty bags.
like Lizzo. Look, I will tell you, I am not a fan of hijabs or burqas. Women in my synagogue when they go to synagogue, they wear veils over their hair. There's nothing wrong with being modestly dressed. I don't believe that you should have virtue police telling people how to dress, though.
Well, can you address Mina's comment, please? Because I don't think there are any non-landowner issues.
Yeah, there's no non-landowner issues, period. It's so I look at it like this, okay? I believe that if you own shares, stock in a company, you actually are allowed to vote on specific policies, where a non-stockholder can't vote on shit. The only thing they can vote with is the power of their purse through purchasing the different products or services. And that's the way I believe that the government should work. Now, some people would argue that one vote for one family, which would essentially outright limit women's rights to vote. And I think that's stupid. But I do like the idea of one vote for the family. However, there can be divisions within that family.
Mhm.
So I would say the land owning families, those members who are adults can vote. So if you have, two people of adult age, a woman and a man, they should both be able to vote.
Who owns the land, though?
Well, like here in Oklahoma, it's a community property state. So me and my wife own the land together.
You go back, apparently even into the Dark Ages in England, where the nobility did vote in a certain way, right? But even a woman who owned land could vote. Right up until we had the universal suffrage in the UK. If you owned land, you could vote, even if you were a woman.
Well, before the passage of the 19th Amendment, there were women that could vote.
Yeah,
They were usually widows. They were usually widows that inherited land from their husband.
Yep.
Um,
And like in the UK, the US had laws where women were not responsible for their financial actions. They could not be declared bankrupt, be chased by creditors and stuff like that. It was their nearest male relative that got that stick.
yeah. But there's a
look,
whole
shock
other
trooper, it's true.
conversation to have with that. And I will tell
Yep.
you, I have no problem with women voting. I do have problems with non-landowners voting who have not given anything. You know what I mean? If you haven't invested, you have no reason.
No, Mina, he didn't say that non-landowners have no rights. He said that non-landowners shouldn't vote.
They don't have issues.
I could argue.
Well, they
that
have
we do.
issues. They have issues, but if you haven't invested in the
Well,
company,
wouldn't you?
why
wouldn't
should
say
you be
that,
able to choose
Hold-
the
hold on,
direction
hold
of
on
that
a minute.
company?
Hold on a minute. So you're saying that people like who don't own land but like are working a job and paying taxes don't have a stake in the country?
No, not the same. Not the same stake.
You kind of do.
So, yes and no. So if you are, let's say you buy your food from X grocery store, but you don't own any controlling stock in said grocery store, can you make a decision at the board meetings for the direction that
of
company
course
goes?
not, but that's different.
So here's the way I suggest it. Okay. The way they have power over the direction of that company is through boycotts and things like that.
That's
And
the
yes,
kind of voting, though.
they can. Yes, that is a kind of voting, but it's not the same as going to the ballot. And under my deal, there would be no foreign ownership of land at all. Only Americans can own American land,
So that means
no
only
companies.
only the indigenous people, right? Fair enough.
and no corporation can vote. One
So,
owner for the
hold on.
corporation.
Only Americans can. So that means if people emigrate into the United States, right? They can't own land.
Yes, they can. They become a citizen.
That's the different to being an American.
No, it isn't. That is an American. That's what we as Americans call it colloquially.
Well, then why? How come an immigrant can't become president then?
Because it's a constitutional matter.
Yeah, because we don't want you having more. Like if you came here, we wouldn't know where your loyalties were to lie because you spent most of your life as a citizen of. Where are you citizen of?
Yeah, he's British. He's
British. You're right. So if we get into a skirmish with Great Britain, then our concern would be that if you're the president, you might go with what it would help them more than us. That's why.
Yeah. But yeah, like in the Philippines, only Filipinos can own the land. Look, and I haven't fleshed all this out. This would actually be a great topic. Me and River could go on hours about this arguing. It would be a fun one.
Oh, we agree though.
Actually, Crazy Chicken, you're wrong. I'm an immigrant from the DC universe, so.
But
no, that's
get on
that disagrees with that. We agree on this one.
Yeah, but we could probably talk for hours on this and flesh it out very detailed.
Honest,
yeah,
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's there's a lot that we could talk about that. But let's get to our last story, and then we'll get on to meme time, where we will feature any meme that you put in Discord. Join Discord, get in the show chat, show us some memes. We will grade you and shame you or praise you accordingly.
Oh, and I forgot to do the scene as Mina turned up. Hold on.
Let's hit this last one. The Joe Biden crime family. Quote, that's not true. President Biden moves towards the evil twin family defense. This is from Zero Hedge by Tyler Durden. President Biden has repeatedly denied that his family receives money from China. He's also denied knowledge that his son's foreign dealings, despite direct evidence to the contrary, including recorded messages from the president to Hunter referring his deals. The White House has simply refused to address the recording or photographs contradicting the president. Now there's confirmation that millions were sent from China, and then money from a third-party account was distributed to at least 3 and possibly 4 Biden family members.
Biden family members.
Biden family members, sorry. However, when confronted with evidence on the way to Marine One, President again declared, that's not true, and I pooped my pants. Given that these are suspicious.
Sorry, I was gonna say that's the Beavis and Butthead. That was other kids' defense.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are you saying that Joe Biden is really the great Cornholio?
No, the great Cornholio was too based. He is definitely Butthead in this situation. However, when let's see,
like sniffer.
Given these suspicious activity reports from Biden's own Treasury Department, it's unclear now what the president is suggesting beyond possibility that an evil twin Biden family is besmirching his good name. After the GOP takes over the House, the Oversight Committee demanded information long blocked by the Democratic leadership on the SARS related to the Biden family. First such disclosure involved Robinson Walker LLC account that received $3 million from the State Energy HK Limited. Money was later distributed in incremental payouts over 3 months to Hallie Biden, the companies associated with Hunter Biden and James Biden. There's also an unknown bank account identified as, quote, Biden. House Oversight Committee is demanding to hear from the recipients of transfer from China. Chairman Comer wrote, John Walker that the panel is investigating President Biden's involvement in his family's business practices and has identified as a critical witness in this matter and has reviewed evidence showing you received millions of dollars originated from Chinese energy companies and elsewhere. Walker can explain any connection between the Chinese transfer and the later distributions. What is clear is that the money has been received by Biden family members from China and other family foreign interests. However, the White House has continued to refuse to answer questions of detail. And the reason why is because this would lead ultimately to the impeachment and removal of Joseph R. Biden. Even the Democrats could not look the other way.
I think we're that far gone. I think they would look the other way.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Look,
I mean,
we know that the Bidens are corrupt. We know. And look, Nico, I saw what you put in about the new California initiative. I'm gonna have to read up on this because what you sent me was a you sent me an advocate website, and I cannot trust that. I would love to see the new California initiative be passed, but at this moment I can't sit there and say that it's gaining steam off of an advocate website. So I'll look into it and I'll get back to you on that. I thank you for bringing that though. But
Yes,
look,
I have returned.
the emu overlord has returned. It's look, I think it was Time Magazine that did the expose, the Biden crime family. I think they're the ones that coined that phrase. Talking about Biden's brother, who is a war profiteer, Biden's son, who found himself. How does a coke addict who was dishonorably discharged from the Navy, disgraced and discharged from the Navy, and I'll be honest, if you can't cut it in the Navy, that's pretty fucking bad. How are you going to get dishonorably discharged and then land executive positions on energy boards when you were a lawyer?
Your dad's got lots of money, that's how.
It's because your dad has a lot of juice, and they figured that they could utilize that political juice.
You say your dad's got a lot of Jews?
Yeah. They're all over the place. There's ovens all. Oh wait. No, that's Mina. Sorry. There's showers. No. Still Mina. Yes, they're all over the place. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Just ask Mina. She'll tell you. Anyway,
hail me.
The Biden crime family. It's a real thing. We
he's not actually, the Biden crime family. He's not actually of Irish descent. He's Italian descent, specifically Sicilian.
In the Navy, you can do your coke with ease. In the Navy, just get down on your knees. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
See, I used to sing in the Navy. They're allowed to hold hands in the Navy where your girlfriend's a man.
In the Navy, where your pants are by your knees.
Look, I'm not saying the Navy's gay, but they do have their name on their butts.
Yeah, one of the things we used to sing was in the Navy. Yeah, you have sex with chimpanzees.
Oh, my goodness! The walls are closing in on Biden. Wait, they don't say that in the media. The walls are closing in. That was always against Trump. Well, the walls are closing in on Trump. Guess what? The walls are still closing in on Biden. Although I don't have faith that anything will come of it.
Well, the leftists believe in there's no truth but power or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they just they say whatever, they do whatever. They're going to stand by him. But the good news is that your average, non-crazy liberal person, they'll see this for what it is. And those are the people that we can reach.
Yeah, if I could, I would sneak into the White House while Biden's asleep, make sure he gets he wakes up and Jill's asleep because I drunk her coffee, right? So
Mhm.
Biden wakes up to get a glass of water, right? He staggers out the bedroom, and he sees me standing there dressed as the Grim Reaper.
Oh Lord, let's get to these. Let's get
You're
to
not gonna
some
get a-
memes.
You're not gonna get a green card like this, man.
Yeah.
Your present administration, would I really want one?
Fair. Let's go to memes. Hey,
But, actually, with your present administration, would I really need one?
No.
Well, yeah, just come across the southern border. Say hi to Guillermo. Come on through.
just as long as you're willing to go work at a Ben and Jerry's berry farm or something, you should be fine. So these are all provided by Zio. If you have any memes, drop them in Discord now. Let's go. Sparky, whenever woke teachers talk to kids.
I like that one.
Based.
Yep.
River Wright using hair relaxer. Don't ever do that to your hair, River.
Or
You
your
have
face.
beautiful hair.
Never again. Never again.
Your hair is freaking wonderful. Hey, you told me that you don't have the good hair. I know you don't have the good hair, but you still have awesome hair. It's amazing. You do great stuff with it. We
Thank
love
you.
it. We appreciate it.
She doesn't have the good hair. I just don't have hair.
Oh,
Let's see. Here we go. Oh, sorry. I apologize for nothing. Zio, you did this. So 2 bangers and then this one happened. Sparky at night after Jägermeister and Still Reserve.
Actually, that's more like Sparky after reading his phone bill.
No, that's actually Sparky after running half a mile.
oh.
Sparky don't run. I'll tell you that, and I'll be honest with you. And no one ever. Sorry, Zio. Batman and Sparky after mixing Mountain Dew and old. Who the hell would ever mix Old E and Mountain Dew? Who the hell drinks Mountain Dew that's a grown adult?
If it's I know Mountain Dew isn't, but if it's alcoholic, I'll mix it.
Mountain Dew is sugar water. It's green.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
green piss sugar water.
Yeah, I know.
So you're running 50-50. You're running 50-50. So here, Will. There. Because we had to kill some of the heresy there. You're running 50%. But no, straight up bangers the first 2. Not gonna lie. And honestly, the one for River, I gotta show it again. She was also one of my favorite crew of the Muppets.
Oh.
Yeah, you fancied her, didn't you, Sparky?
You damn right. I was raised by a hippie.
It shows.
But yeah.
He's got the wine right.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
That looks like every girl in the 80s after you've had about 7 pints.
So, Ocean Breeze Salty. Hate Mountain Dew. Never drink that shit and don't use it for a mixer. Exactly. Look, when it comes to sodas for
They had it
mixing,
over here, and it proved to be really unpopular.
yeah. Look, when it comes to sodas, colas are the only way to go. Give me darker, darkest. Mountain, Dr. Pepper supremacy, Coke supremacy. None of that commie Pepsi bullshit.
No. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Cola over here, it's kind of different to how it is over there because they just use sugar in it over here, whereas they use corn syrup over there.
Yeah. No.
And so you don't get that residue on your teeth.
Real sugar Coke, much better than corn syrup Coke.
Yeah.
100%. Americans need to get back to real food. We need to get away from edible plastics. We need to get away from the fucking high fructose corn syrup.
You ever seen those videos where they compare British and American food? Yeah, like the content. And you see the list of ingredients. And there's always like 10 times as many ingredients in the American stuff as there is in the British stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it is like artificial flavouring, D numbers, Yeah, enhancers, emulsifiers.
Yeah.
Lead
But see,
paint.
Zio, I gotta tell you, man. Look, Old E is malt liquor. And look, you don't mix malt liquor. I'm just saying.
The only thing you mix malt liquors with is your digestive juices.
Yeah. When I drink malt liquor though, I drink Colt 45 because Lando Calrissian told me so.
Yeah, but you've seen Solo. You know Lando Calrissian's gay.
No. I go by the original Lando, the not
Was it
gay Lando.
Billy D. Williams or somebody.
Yes, Billy D. Williams, the
He's not
man,
gay.
the myth, the legend.
He was
No,
good. That
not that.
Lando was good.
Not that new woke ass Lando.
I mean,
That is
that Lando is,
homosexual and everything else.
Wait, there's a new gay Lando?
yeah,
Yes.
film Solo. It's a
He's
prequel.
robosexual too. He's attracted to robots as well. But yes, bourbon and ice hold the ice. Based.
Yeah.
Whiskey is meant to be drank at room temperature. Based.
I ordered a whiskey. Bunch of lads. We were down south on holiday. I ordered a whiskey, one of the bars, Southern Bar. And would you like ice for that? And my reply was, would you like my fist in your face?
But yes, Billy D. Williams is Lando, the real Lando. And Billy D. Williams tells you to drink Colt 45, not Old E.
Yep.
Oh, Old E is what broke ass wannabe gangster rappers drink. Real men drink Colt 45 if you're going to drink malt liquor. But I would tell you, go with the dark liquors.
Or
be a
better
man.
yet, don't drink American beer at all. Drink the import stuff from England.
Guinness.
That's not a beer. That's a stout.
I know it's great. I
It
like
tastes-
stouts.
Do you know
I
what
like
Guinness
stouts and
tastes?
brats.
To me, do you know what Guinness tastes like?
You're gonna say an ashtray, aren't you?
Can you remember when you're really, really little and you used to suck on your the blanket on your bed, and it tasted disgusting? That's what it tastes like.
Look, I like a good draught or a stout. I mean,
Draft.
like
It's called a draft.
it's a draught.
No, it's a
it's the way it's
draft.
spelled. Okay. Well, it's spelled draught. So,
So's draft.
but no, I like good ambers too. A nice dark amber.
Well,
I'm not into L's.
like Herd. She's pretty dark.
That's a different type of dark. Ladies and gentlemen, that's
Different
where we're at. That's where we're at. Thank you so much. 2 hours and 11 minutes. We appreciate y'all. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you for those who went over to Rumble. Hit that follow button. Thanks for those who hit that plussy. Our people over at twitch.tv. And of course, our wonderful people over here at YouTube. Remember, YouTube is asshole. China is asshole. Pinochet
Australia
did
is
nothing
China.
wrong. Pardon?
Australia is China.
Yeah, you got to do it, didn't you?
I had to do it.
By God. And of course, if you haven't done it already, y'all need to go over to her channels. You can find her on Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube, all at right, left, to center. Y'all go check her out. Look, she has the best hair on the show. And look.
Oh, yeah, and Ocean Breeze Salty. Yesterday when you went past that alleyway and that mugger didn't get you, you're welcome.
But thank you all. We'll see you Wednesday night for Thursday night streams on Wednesday nights. You take care. And as always, God bless.
Sparky is asshole!
He will stay, and we will Utah until there is nothing left!
Now do
Make
my
France a glossy plain.
I will eat your ass!